Yeah, beautiful tifo before the game from the 32-52 Carlos Vela. The depiction, and then he came out and was who he was for the entirety of the regular season. 34 goals in the regular season, couple in this match, the first two. I mean, this is how you cook it up. This is what you expect from Carlos Vela, Sacha.
He's a superstar. He's been a superstar all season. He's continuing what he's done all season. He's the MVP, and he got the team on his back again tonight.
And then here come the Galaxy, because when LAFC do that, the Galaxy come back. Doyle, it's just the way it works.
Yeah, the game went off the rails right there with that first goal, and then this one, a giveaway at the back, and then 5 holes, Tyler Miller, who probably would want to do better on this one right there because Zlatan didn't get all of it. And suddenly you're thinking, oh my God, it's going to happen again. El Tráfico always delivers, but so does this guy. Like Carlos Vela, the strength, the vision, finds Diego Rossi. And I've been saying all year, do you trust Diego Rossi in a big game, in a big moment to be a match winner? Certainly do after tonight.
3-2, and then they would sort of pour it on because they had to make sure that they got this thing done. Diomande's back. He's been out for a while. He came back 10 days ago, started training with the team, and gets the goal. But then Rolf Feltscher comes back and gets a goal, and it's 4-3. And you're thinking, okay, Zlatan's going to get the goal, and then Charlie, choo-choo. Here he goes. That's a train, man.
Oh, my word. What a goal. He made him look like Lionel Messi. But what I love about it is
about 70 pounds on it.
maybe 115. But
oh, man.
The fact is, someone who leaves for an extended amount of time as an absence to get better and comes back into the fold, makes their introduction to the game in the second half and scores 2 goals, lifts the team up, and you see how everyone wanted him to succeed. And like the smile on his face, and for him to lead the chant at the end of the game, it's just a special moment. I couldn't be more happy for a player like that.
8 goals, that ties the most in MLS playoff history, all the way back to 1998. We have 3 of the top 5 most highest scoring goal games in this playoffs. It's incredible stuff. There are your stats, 5-3. I mean, only 12 shots for LAFC? Didn't have the possession.
It was rope-a-dope, Wiebe. This was what Bob Bradley said at halftime. We wanted to figure out how to get the Galaxy to come up the field and play a little bit more soccer, which would expose them for the counterattack. So they didn't take a lot of shots. They took high-quality shots. You saw it, tap-ins, finishes from inside the 6, good interplay. It was a different-looking LAFC, and I don't think the Galaxy were ready for it.
I think none of us saw this coming. Really, when we talked about it, we kind of said before, we don't think Bob's going to change much. They've been so successful. He loves the way they play. He's all about the football. But you could see when he talked at halftime, he had that little kind of sly smile that, none of us saw this coming. He said, we're going to sit back a little. We created a little bit more space in behind. We went on the counter. They created 2 goals that way. And then in the second half, they kind of snuck that momentum back every time.
I think what really changed his mind in his approach was watching that match against Minnesota, where LA Galaxy just literally sat back, 4 center backs. And the way to get behind them is to bring them out, because they're comfortable when you play the game in front of them. But as soon as you expose them and there's a lot of space in behind, that's when things get uncomfortable. And that's where you can make things happen. And when you have Rossi on the one side and Rodriguez on the other, just making rampant runs, and then you get Carlos Vela moving around, pulling center backs out of position, it was a work of beauty.
And I do want to say, I think personnel has something to do with this as well, because no Mark Anthony Kaye maybe makes it a little bit harder to go high and hard with that press. So Lee Nguyen slides in for him. Lee Nguyen had 3 secondary assists today. He was able to open up the game from deep with his passing, with his vision. Time and time again, he delivered in this game. It was a really smart game plan from Bob Bradley. I must call him Brad Bobley. Bob Bradley and the players delivered for him.
Let's see what Lee Nguyen had to say after this game. Another AT&T called the field. Back out to Vega California Stadium.
All right, Lee, at long last, you finally get that LA Galaxy monkey off your back in front of your own fans. What does this moment mean for you?
Yeah, it was huge. I mean, everybody was saying just that. We haven't been able to beat them, but we showed today. A big moment when it mattered most. Team came through in the clutch, and all the guys, did what needed to be done.
When they came back after you guys had gone up 2 goals and they scored so quickly, what was going through the team's mind, and how did you guys kind of get back into that mentality of we need to stop this now?
Yeah, just had to stay composed. Like I said, we played them many times, and it's been back and forth a lot. So we just needed to stay composed, gather ourselves, and know that we're going to get more chances. And when we did, we made it count.
Seattle up next. How do you beat them?
Just like today. Just got to put it in. So, I mean, all the guys put in the great shift. Now we got to get ready again Tuesday, Wednesday.
Congrats, Lee.
Play in the big moments.
All right, here's El Tráfico series history, and I don't think I have to read this off. I don't think you even have to look at it. You know that LAFC had not won a game against their biggest rival ever coming into tonight. So now they're over the hump, and they're over the hump at the perfect time, Sacha. You said this was about emotion. It was about momentum. What will this mean to this locker room? What will it mean to this club?
This means so much, I think, to LAFC. I just keep going back to what Bob said after the game, mentality. He said, it was all about our mentality. They could have buckled when it got to 2-2, and they could have all been thinking in the back of their minds, here we go again. We've been through this before, but I think they all blocked that out. They probably talked about it all week, about being mentally tough in the tough moments, and tonight they were really tough.
He had a little bit of a pushback, let's say, on Sebi Salazar in his post-game interview. But before that, the two questions, you remarked, Charlie, you thought that was the happiest you'd seen Bob maybe ever.
He was elated. I mean, he couldn't be more proud of the growth that this team shown, the character, to battle back, to not collapse when things were going so well for this team. And every time LA thought they got back into the game, like Sacha said, they scored a goal, punched them back in the mouth and said, no, we're winning this game. We're staying on top.
Helps when you have Carlos Vela, 36 goals and counting between regular season and the postseason, Doyle. Put this in perspective. You've watched this league for a long time. What he's doing, it feels unmatched. The numbers are certainly unmatched.
Unmatched is a good word for it. Like he has already had the greatest single regular season in league history. I don't think there's any question about that. And now he's just carried that into the postseason. This was the game. You know, people were, whether it was the biggest game or the most anticipated, like this was the game. Everybody wanted to see El Tráfico in the playoffs, wanted to see how LAFC would react, wanted to see if Carlos Vela would go out there and punk Zlatan and show him, you know what, it is my league. He did all of that and more. It was just a magnificent performance, and it's a credit to LAFC that you kind of expect it from them at this point.
We're going to keep this conversation rolling, but for now, we're going back out to Bank of California Stadium. Bob Bradley live at the dais.
As you go through a season and you continue to grow and mature, and then putting it all on the line at that point in the game, I couldn't be prouder. Scored some amazing goals. And again, it's about over time and derbies. I know there's been some amazing moments so far, but I'll say it again. To see our group really respond at that point the way they did, that's something special.
Bob, right here.
Yes.
I've been around you guys all season. I know that's something although this is going to be a big game for a lot of people and they're going to talk about it, the stated goal from the beginning of the year hasn't been to win a derby game. It's been to win MLS Cup.
Sure.
And, how does this victory help you guys on that journey? And you have this quick turnaround already on Tuesday against Seattle. Can you just talk a little bit about what this game might mean for this team going forward towards that Cup run?
Yeah, I mean, we take a lot of good things out of tonight, and there's a proud feeling of how we keep moving ourselves along, and yet when you talk to everybody inside, they're all focused already about the next game. And you can tell that this was just an important win, but now we got to move on. And Seattle's a good team, and these playoff games in this format, man, they're crazy, all right? And so we have to rebound quickly. We've done a good job of that this year, and I think leadership in the team. Yes, we always talk about Carlos, but guys like Steve Beitashour and Jordan and others, the group has continued to develop in all those ways. And I'm a stickler with the football all the time. And as I said tonight, from a pure football standpoint, wasn't even close to our best. But in that game, that's the way it's going to be sometimes. And so you just have to make sure that guys understand that and that at a certain point can raise the level. So I thought that part was great.
Hi, Bob. Incredible game.
This 3 winners against the LA Galaxy. Of course, you know that the Sounders knocked off RSL as well, 2-0. They're on. It is LAFC, Seattle Sounders in the conference finals, October 29th. ESPN, TSN, TVA, 10 p.m. Eastern. We will be here for pregame and postgame shows, hoping, praying that maybe it gets as wild as it did tonight against LAFC. Now, there were some questions about this team coming into these playoffs. The break that they had, the sort of middling form comparative to their beginning of the season, and the injuries to both Walker Zimmerman and Marc-Anthony Kaye. Did LAFC, in your mind, Doyle, alleviate all the concerns, or is there any concern left about their status as favorites and prohibitive MLS Cup hosts?
They are prohibitive favorites. The Sounders are going to have their work cut out for them to hang in this game with LAFC. I would feel a lot more comfortable with that if Marc-Anthony Kaye was 100% healthy. Again, I think the way that LAFC played had a lot to do with not having Marc-Anthony Kaye, and like Bob Bradley said, this wasn't even close to their best soccer, and I think those two things are kind of linked. That said, they just showed what they can do without him. They can, score 5 goals in a playoff game with all the pressure on them. So they answered a lot of questions tonight, but the Sounders have been here before. Sounders know how to ask questions too.
The only question that this LAFC team had was, can they tame Zlatan Ibrahimovic? Zlatan was the boogeyman for LAFC. And they conquered their fear. They got by them. They did what they needed to do to win the game. And that was not the prettiest soccer that Bob Bradley had said, but it was changing the way they played to get over the hump. They did that. Now they're going to, I would imagine, go back to the way they play against the Seattle team, which is just going to be fine with sitting and countering in a similar way that LA Galaxy tried to do, wanted to do tonight. So it's going to be an exciting game, and I think we're going to try and see Jordan Morris has to be the hero for Seattle if they are to win the game.
How scary is it, though, when Bob says, that's not even our best soccer, and we pounded in 5, and it could have been 7?
What about Carlos Vela with the Rabona to Lee Win, who does the back heel?
That would have been the best goal maybe in playoff history.
I would have
run
run around the block with my shirt off.
They're obviously a very good team. They're very talented. They're the odds-on favorite for sure.
Yeah, there's no question about it. And they have that little bit of toughness now. I doubt, there was always a hint of doubt in this team in big games, whether it was knockout games in the Open Cup, whether it was last year in the playoffs, whether it was against the Galaxy and these El Tráficos. Gone.
I'm already thinking of the storylines. LAFC versus Toronto FC, Bob Bradley versus Michael Bradley. Whoa.
We gotta waste
Sounders fans. Sounders fans are going to be at you, Charlie.
I'm just saying, or
LAFC, Davies 9.
Or LAFC versus Atlanta, defending champs. In LA.
There's some rich veins right there. We'll see what happens.
Or Seattle-Toronto. Or Seattle-Toronto rematch. I mean, the storylines are limitless.
You know what is a great storyline as well? Adama Diomande coming back, scoring the game winner, and the one that put this thing on ice. Susanna Collins chatted with him after this match.
All right, Dio. It took 6 tries to beat this Galaxy team, but in the most important of circumstances, you guys get it done. How did you do it?
No, we live in the present. What happened in the last games? Yeah, we lost and we didn't get the result, and we were hungry for more. And when it finally counts, we up. The team effort, we're coming back and scoring a lot of goals, and I'm just glad to be back again, first game, and I'm just happy for this club that we advanced for our first playoff game.
Well, it's been a while since we've seen you on the pitch, but you get a brace tonight. For you personally, what does it mean to have that kind of performance?
Well, personally, it was an emotional game for me. I've been gone for personal issues, and I'm just happy to be back with this crowd and fantastic crowd and being in some big games. I love playing big games, and I'm just happy to be here and happy for the game.
Seattle Sounders up next. How do you feel you guys match up against that team?
No, every game is difficult, and we're gonna do everything to win this match and just have some rest in the last few days now and just prepare for Seattle.
Congratulations to you.
Thank you.